Well, the lawyer for the now fired director of code enforcement in Tampa is responding to the state attorney's decision not to press charges. Keith O'Connor was fired this week after the state attorney's office found that he likely worked in cahoots with a lottery winner to help him avoid paying child support. But they said that they couldn't actually prove it in court.
Yeah, Fox 13's Evan Axelbeck reports now that O'Connor's attorney has his own explanation as to why Connor cashed that lotto ticket that ended up costing him his job.
Keith O'Connor's attorney, Ralph Fernandez, isn't just holding a memo. According to him, it's proof someone had it out for Keith O'Connor.
This memo is a hatchet job, and I'm surprised that at this time, that people still do this.
The two-pager from the state attorney's office explains that Aubrey Pierce, who has long known Keith O'Connor, won a $20,000 scratch-off lotto ticket. But because Pierce owed $70,000 in child support, it's reasonable to presume that when he gave O'Connor the ticket, that they were working to hide the winnings from the Florida court system. The memo says this is an example of what the state strongly believes happened versus what it can actually prove in court.
O'Connor's state of mind in this case absolutely had nothing to do with avoiding child support, and he never would help someone avoid pay child support.
I don't think he even knows the rules of child support. You'd be surprised how little real boys in blue know about collateral rules.
Fernandez accused the state attorney of writing the memo just to give the city a case to fire him. Several years after his wife, former TPD chief Mary O'Connor, resigned after a golf cart traffic stop. Keith O'Connor is a former deputy chief at TPD and was the head of code enforcement while Pierce worked under him at a city trash disposal site. O'Connor spent years helping Pierce land on his feet after several arrests, including by promising him a job. The lotto ticket Ralph Fernandez says Pierce gifted him wasn't about avoiding child support. Fernandez says it was a thank you.
Pierce never had two nickels to rub together. He gets his ticket and he says, you know what? I want you to have it and whatever. Once that transaction is completed, even if it takes 1 second, O'Connor can do whatever he wants with that money and give it back to Pierce to buy equipment for a side job business.
The memo says Pierce told at least two people he had someone else cash the scratch off to avoid paying past due child support. It says the conduct is suggestive of theft, but it also says Pierce made one statement that he'd given the ticket to O'Connor. This claim, which can be read as an attempt to exonerate O'Connor, is not surprising given the long-standing connection between the two. The memo also says that nothing on their phones or elsewhere establishes that fact beyond a reasonable doubt. O'Connor was fired this week, with the mayor's office saying his supervisors determined that his poor judgment merited dismissal.
Is there anything he could have done differently to avoid the appearance, apparently, of this exchange of lottery tickets and money?
Every human being that faces a difficult encounter regrets being in that position to any extent.
Keith O'Connor's 3 decades of service to the city of Tampa have come to an end. Evan Axelbeck, Fox 13 News.
Now, regarding the memo that was written, the state attorney's office says, quote, our office may prepare memos when we decline to file charges in order to clearly document our reasoning. This helps provide additional clarity for victims, law enforcement, and the community.